everyone who has joined us early because our promise is a 90-minute session and our plan is to start on time and finish on time. So my name is Omobola Lano. I'm the foundation lead for Adara Foundation, and my job this afternoon or this evening is to welcome you and just give a little bit of a background as to why we are having this session. As many of you are aware, most of you are recent graduates of Nigerian universities, right? So you are very much aware of, just give me a moment, I'm trying to change my slides now. Okay. So as many of you are aware, we are recent graduates of Nigerian University, and you're aware of the job market and how tight the job market is. Adara Foundation has been around for about 9 years now, almost going on 9 years, and our work is focused on women, arts, and education, right? And we're keenly focused on improving the livelihood of women and increasing and improving opportunities for young people. And this digital skills program really is our attempt at making sure that more and more of our young people, however tight the job market is, that more and more of our young people have options. You know, the workplace is very competitive, but entrepreneurship is an alternate path for job creation where people can create their own jobs and hopefully, which is our goal, eventually become employers of labor. Some of the richest people in the world are not people who are gainfully employed, but people who have their own businesses. And so we're hoping to empower you all with the skills to make sure that you have the skills to explore that alternate path. And the reason why we are focusing on digital skills and digital business is because, as you can see on my screen, Nigeria has one of the largest e-commerce markets in the world, projected to be worth about $75 million by 2025. You know, a lot of our young people, a lot of people transact online, and the e-commerce sector is creating jobs. Some of the jobs we see, so people are producing shoes, producing jewelry, hiring people to support them. And because of those transactions, we are creating jobs for the dispatch people. We are creating jobs for the warehousing sector. We are creating jobs for many sectors. So our hope is that, as many of you, this training is principally designed for people who have already, most of us in university already have started some sort of side business. We're already doing some things in photography. We're already making shoes and selling shoes. Some of us are just selling fashion wear. Some of us are selling computer products. What we want to do through this session is to make sure that we empower you so that you can reach a broader market. The digital space and the e-commerce space broadens our opportunities, our market reach opportunities. And we're hoping that we can empower you with the basic skills to allow you to expand your reach. If you already have a business, and if you do not have a business, but you're thinking of starting a business, you will have the skills to reach an expanded market. And whether or not you have a business or not, even though this training is really for those who already have a side gig, digital skills are essential in today's workplace. So nothing you will gain here, if you put your mind and heart to it, nothing will be for naught. So our objectives our goal is to close the unemployment gap for young people. And our objectives are, for those who will attend this training, increase digital skills proficiency, enhanced online presence for your businesses, for the services or products you're selling, improve social media engagement and product presentation, job creation, and economic contribution. What will we be covering? I saw a message on the platform. I hope that person has joined. That when are we going to deliver the digital marketing session? Now, we are delivering 5 curriculums because we think all of this you need. If you are interested in digital marketing, for your digital marketing to really, really have the oomph that you would expect, you need, some of the images you post are important. How to optimally use social media is important. And entrepreneurship skills are the skills that you will need to really drive your business. So we're asking that everybody who signs up for this training, and the graphic design skills would really participate from beginning to end through all of the modules. That is how we think that you will optimally benefit from the session that we are offering. So some of our house rules through this training. Some of our house rules are, we're asking everyone, so the meeting room typically would open 15 minutes before time. We're asking you to arrive early so that you can test and rectify any connectivity issues you're having. And also because we promise 90 minutes max. So if you can, and today is the first day, but plan your time, plan your Saturdays, plan your Sundays, so that you can be here on time and get the benefit. It's free. You're not paying anything. The only cost to you is your data. Now we are taking a poll. For those of us online, you can see a poll has been put up. Please help us answer this question. What, in your view, is the most important element for business growth and success? Just check anyone you think is the most important element for business growth and success. It helps us to understand what you are thinking, how you're thinking, and how we can better serve you. And so we'll post the result of the poll by the time I'm done. I'll be off here in 3 minutes so that we can get into the training proper. So we're asking you to come on time. We're asking you also, we are going to provide an incentive. Sorry, I have to go back. We are going to provide an incentive. Let me try to move this poll off my screen. Yeah, so we are going to provide an incentive for everybody who comes early and stays through the session. We'll be giving data for up to 5 people who you log in on time before the session starts and you stay through the session. We're providing 1,500 data for some of us who do that, the top 5 who do that. We have also created a WhatsApp group. Some of you are already on the WhatsApp group. We are asking you to engage. The WhatsApp group will be a platform to support you throughout the duration of the session. So sometimes our facilitators will post questions, will post assignments, will post tasks. Sometimes you might have questions. We have community managers that will support and help you. We're not doing this to just check it up and say, oh, we've done something for you. We are doing it because we really, really, really want to make sure we upskill you by the end of the session. We're also going to be giving cash gifts. I had said we are delivering 5 modules. So at the end of every module, we are going to ask our facilitators to pick the topmost, maybe the top 2 people who, the output of what they have learned is the best of the class. Once we have those nominations from the facilitator, we are going to giving cash gifts to those who are nominated as the top 2 in the class per module. So there will be 10 gifts per module. There's also, just so you know, and so you can broadcast to your friend, Adara Foundation has the next level funding program where we give up to 500,000 naira to a business. We give up to 400,000 naira to a business, to a promising business, an already existing business that shows great promise and needs some funding. And the first tranche, the inaugural funding that we did was open to every youth corper in Lagos State that was at the parade ground. The next round, I think we are going to do 2 rounds. We might do 1 or 2 rounds during the course of this session, and only consistent participants in the trainings will be eligible to participate in the next level funding program. So we encourage you to please stay through till the end of the program. Also, so we all know that we are going to be issuing certificates to everyone who participates in up to 80% of the training session. You will get a certificate at the end. So we encourage you again, stay through. Use the chat box. I'll be handing off to Somto, our mobile photography facilitator today. Once we start, please use the chat box. Godwin, are people answering the poll? Do we have the results of the poll yet? So once we start, your videos are muted so that we have minimal distractions. Your audio is muted. But if you have a question as we move along, please type your questions into the chat box. Use your emoticons. If maybe you want to raise your hand, you like something that has been said, stay engaged with your emoticons and on the chat box. And we'll have Somto take us over, I think, maybe 60, 70 minutes now, and then we'll close. We promise to close no later than of us. A productive time of learning today. It's not what we learn today that will really make the difference. It is how we engage and how we practice. These are skills that require practice. So please, once we end the training today, please make sure that you engage on the WhatsApp group, share your learning, ask questions. We have people there to support you. So as I hand off to Somto, he'll introduce himself. Just the results of the polling. We asked how many people, what in your view is the most important element for business growth and success? 15% say funding, 29% say the product, service, need, and quality. So essentially, how important the product or service is to the market. 20% say access to customers, and 37% say business owners' skill and tenacity. I have to say that the top two responses are right on the mark. So I think most people who are here understand what it requires or what it takes to run a successful business. So I wish everyone on this call right now, I hope more people will join us, a really productive time of learning. Somto, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. Like was said, my name is Sumto Onugbogu. I'm the creative director and CEO and creative director of Shocks Media. Um, Let me share my screen so that we can get right into it. Okay, can we all see my screen? Can we just give a thumbs up or an emoticon just to let me know that we can see clearly and if you can and that you can hear me fine. Okay, all right. I will assume that all is in order. Um, so yes, my name is Sumto Onugbogu, and welcome. I would like to say welcome to all of you. Thank you for taking out the time to be here in this day and age, acquiring as many skills as possible is imperative for anyone who is an entrepreneur or who is running a business or looking to lead a team of people. So I would really like to applaud what we are doing here at the Adara Foundation and you all as well for taking out the time. I know you could be possibly be somewhere else doing something else, but you've taken out the time to learn and acquire skills, and I applaud you for that. So, like I said, my name is Somto Onubogu. I have been in the creative space in animation, in film, and in visual effects, and especially and in all these fields that I take part in, photography is a constant. And more, I find myself using mobile photography. Um, and in this course, we are trying to make sure that everyone who goes through this training course is able to, at the end of it, pick up your own phone, use your own phone, this device that every single one of us have and walk around with, and use it to take um, high quality pictures, professional looking pictures, and use that on your, say, your social media, on to sell your products or whatever it is that you actually want to use photography for. So we would be the course will be focused on teaching you how to take professional looking pictures and then editing them. Now the thing is that we know different cameras have different qualities, different phones have different capabilities, but one thing that can bridge the gap is editing. Um, for example, even before I talk of the example, so let's just even take a quick poll while we're at it, um, to ask this question. What kinds of pictures will you be taking often? Like, I know we have a diverse group here, featuring entrepreneurs, business owners, people who will be team leads. You might work as a content creator for a brand, for a company, or for a business. Who knows? So we are just trying to know what kind of pictures would you be taking more often so that we would tailor make the examples and the demonstrations that we'll be doing in the course of this module to your needs so that by the end of all of this, you have something concrete that you can take and say, okay, this will be my go-to for when I'm taking pictures. So yeah, it's a quick poll. We can do that you can do that while I go through the rest of this session. Okay, so what we'll cover in this first 3 weeks, which will be focused on mobile photography. We'll cover how you take great pictures on the phone that you already have. It will span through different and photo editing, of course, learning how to use Lightroom and optimizing your images for wherever they are going to be posted to, compositing, taking pictures in low light situations, photographing people, products, and landmarks. So that's why we even want to know, get info on, that's the reason for the poll that we just did, so that, we know where everybody sits on this spectrum. So here is even an example of a photograph that I took, say, this morning before heading out. This is an example of what we hope people who take part in these sessions are able to achieve. Taking a picture that has some mystery, some interest, and editing it to really bring out the beauty in say a product, or just to generally make them have interest and not just be ordinary pictures, because in this our day and age, um um well, someone's hands are raised. Someone's hand is raised. You can speak. I think you're the host.
Mr. Soto, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right. So my hope is that at the end of all of this session, because we are going to be doing assignments, like this is going to be practical. This is one of the few sessions that we'll be doing slides. A lot of the other sessions we will be actually using our phones and taking pictures and sharing information. Okay, there will be slides, but there'll be a lot of assignments. So it is important for you to take notes, I would say, because we're going to be going through a lot of technical things. So take a pen, paper, writing material, and just note down probably something that you've not known before, or important things that might come up in these sessions. So the very first question, in fact, we should ask ourselves is, what really is mobile photography? And I know someone might say that it is the art or the act of taking photographs using the camera of your smartphone. And if you said that, you will be correct to a level. And the reason is even this next question: what really is a camera? The camera is not just a device for taking pictures. Now, this is the key thing. One of the key things I would like for us to note: your camera is not just a device for taking pictures. It is actually a device that does light, and converts that into images. So cameras have been around for centuries and the technology has existed. But the key thing that we should note, that we should take note of, is that the camera really is a device that captures light. And if I were to turn off the lights that we have here, we really wouldn't be able to see any image or create any image or take a picture. So that is the um, real purpose of a camera. That's the real function of a camera, to capture light, and it really just converts it to images. So based on the poll that we did earlier, I can see that 28% of us will be taking pictures of people, 9% will be taking pictures of environments, landscapes, and buildings, 2% for interior spaces, 9 at events, while the majority of us will be taking pictures of products. Okay, this is good information for us to know, so that the upcoming sessions we would tailor it to our needs. We'll, of course, try and touch base on all of these different aspects, but we now know where we will be focusing largely on. Okay, so um, the smartphone camera, particularly, one thing, because of course everybody knows there are cameras, and I was like, even the last description that I gave was about cameras in general. But you see, the distinguishing thing and one of the best things about a smartphone camera is that just beyond taking pictures, it's it has the ability to process images right from the point where you take the pictures. And for some of us that have iPhones, Samsungs, or Google Pixels, you will notice that after, like, almost after you take a picture, especially maybe if you take multiple pictures, you see it loading something, saying and writing processing. That image processing right from the point of taking a picture or before a picture is one of the distinguishing features of a smartphone camera. That, and the fact that it's in your smartphone, and it's a lot more compact. So you see a very big camera with all of the plenty things inside. There will be the lens, the camera body, and all the things inside the camera. For a smartphone, they squished all of that into just this, like, if you see on my slide, this small looking thing that is made of the lens. There are some filters in between. Then the sensor is like this chip thing, this chip thing right after the. Let me let me highlight that. This chip thing here is the sensor, which is an important part, which is the part of the camera that light falls on, and then your phone does all of the background processing and gives you an image. Especially for if we're like using filters and all this and stuff on some apps, or even on the cameras, that image processing is done after you take the picture, powered by um, the processor on your phone. That let me not. We have a poll coming up after this that will try and see if we are grasping all these things that I'm saying. And of course, we'll have questions and answer sessions afterwards. So moving on, yeah, the the key parts of the camera are the lens, the aperture, the shutter, and the viewing system. If we were to look at the previous image, all of that, these are the lenses. These are the lenses. Things here. The aperture is actually supposed to be on, because on digital cameras, the aperture is what closes and is the opening of the lens. Rather, if you look into a lens, you see like something like a small dark dot inside it. That opening is what we call an aperture, and your shutter is what opens and closes that opening, and these influence your camera in what I like to call the photo trinity. So I'm like I said, I'm speaking a lot of technical terms, but please just stay with me. Stay with me. I promise they would begin to make sense at some point. So if at all we're not able to grasp most of what I'm saying, grasp this. What I call the photo trinity is one of the simplest ways to understand what a camera is doing, whether it's a big camera or your smartphone camera. Your camera allows you to control pretty much three things: the amount of light entering your camera, the speed at which that light enters your camera, or the speed at which it takes pictures, and the sensitivity to light. In the most simplest terms, that is all. Even with all the gadgets and everything that people put on cameras, and with the most expensive iPhone cameras or Pixel cameras, they are pretty much doing these three things, allowing you to control the amount of light entering, the sensitivity, and the speed at which your camera takes pictures. For smartphones, they present themselves in these uh, three ways. Okay, let's not go into this, because this one is now talking about digital cameras. But that aperture that I mentioned earlier, yeah, that is what helps you to control the amount of light that's entering into your camera. And the wider that opening is, of course, the more light enters your camera, and the brighter your picture will be. Then for sensitivity to light, in some cameras, like if you put the pro, if you go to like the professional or manual on your camera, you'll see something called f-stop. That's now what is controlling the amount of light entering your camera. Or you will see ISO, which is your phone sensitivity to light. And how you even notice this is like in dark light situation. Like if you are at night, your camera, your phone will try and increase its sensitivity to light, so that any small light that it sees, it will brighten it. But the downside of that is that you now start seeing the picture will now start looking low quality, like there's what we call grain and noise inside the picture. But then that image processing that smartphones do can help you to eliminate it. Or you can eliminate it with editing, which we will hopefully get to in further along the way. Then the speed at which your camera takes pictures, where if you are like using the professional tab on your camera, you'll see something like shutter speed. Now, one of the good things about smartphones is that they have so simplified this thing that all these plenty gists that I'm talking about that may be confusing has been simplified into camera modes, camera modes and setting. Um, with so for this, let me quickly um I want to show us like right on my own phone camera, all these things that I'm talking about. If you go to if you like it's even true, all of us should just open our phone cameras if you're not using your phone for this call. But if your phone is free, you can just quickly go to your camera. Let's let me quickly do that. Uh, okay, but before doing that, um, I would want to let me explain each of the different modes that we have on your camera. Now, the action mode allows you to um, the action mode allows you to take fast pictures. And if we go back to what I mentioned earlier about these about the camera allowing you to about the camera allowing you to control the speed at which your phone is able to take pictures. It presents itself in these first two modes, action and long exposure. In action mode, your camera is taking pictures quickly, like super fast, because like say maybe you're taking picture at an event now and an artist is on stage and everybody's dancing and vibing and all whatnot, then you need to take pictures of the artist, yeah, in the crowd and everything. And you might notice when you just take the picture ordinarily, you see stuff like blur around the person's hand and all whatnot. Is that the person is moving actually faster than your camera. So if you switch to action mode, your camera is taking pictures much faster now. It's just that the picture that it will take might be a bit darker. So for action mode to be very effective, you need to take pictures where there is adequate light. Like say maybe even at a concert, there is of course stage lighting and whatnot. So switching to action mode will help you so that you don't have any of all those blurs in the picture or sporting events or even like maybe you are doing street photography and you want to take a picture of an Okada guy that's moving past. You can switch to action mode and not snap it immediately, and you get your picture. Whereas long exposure is the opposite. Now, what that does is that it slows your camera down so that it's able to capture over a longer period of time. If you put your camera in long exposure mode, well, we are going to experiment with all of these modes in the as we are talking about different lighting situations. If your camera is in long exposure mode and it's when you press the shutter, it could take up to 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 5 full seconds before it captures the picture. And what that does is that you see that motion blur that you were trying to avoid in using action mode is that this time now you want it to be in the picture. And don't worry, when we are much further down the line, we will show creative ways to use action, and long exposure modes. Now, with portrait mode, in a digital camera now, if you were to open your let's say your f-stop, your aperture, if you open it, of course there'll be more light coming in, but then also you would have a blurry background. So we know how that we like to take that picture, those pictures that are nice and soft with blurred background. You say sun kissed and okay, no, sun kissed most of the time does not have blurred background, but just to blur out the background, your go-to would be portrait mode. So in portrait mode, pictures are softer, more flattering. You typically use this for like maybe a beauty or makeup photo shoot, which we would try to demo. I would need to speak to models to see if they're available. And so yeah, portrait mode is for like soft, flattering beauty pictures. So if you're taking pictures of people, you lean more towards photo and portrait mode. Most of the time, I set my camera on photo mode because I don't typically take soft pictures, you know. And night mode now is your camera doing its very best to help you in low light situation where there is no light, where everywhere is dark. Like say maybe like the example I made of a concert is the number one thing that comes to mind. And yeah, it's so in this mode, it's try to also compensate for that noise that comes as a result of increasing your camera's sensitivity to light. And so the last two modes now, those ones will be panorama and photosphere will be typically used if you are doing interiors and maybe some of you will venture into visual effects. This photosphere mode will come in clutch. It will save your life. In fact, like okay, because I don't want to. Don't worry. So for panorama, it lets you to take picture from your extreme left, a 180-degree picture all the way to your right, or the other way around. Whereas photosphere is 360. And I was recently on a film set for Anikula. And in the VFX team, we needed to we needed to take pictures that will help us to recreate some scenes in 3D and whatnot. So with the photosphere mode, you take a picture of what's in front of you, beside you, all around, up, down, then you have a 360-degree picture. And if you notice, it's also 360-degree pictures that we have in Google Street View. In like if you enter Google Maps and you like even building interiors, 360 pictures of like walkthroughs of an apartment, of a school, of a facility. So like if if say someday you are hired to take real estate pictures and you need to take interiors of the space on your phone, with your phone, you see all those things that like people people who do demos on real estate websites. They use expensive 360-degree cameras. Yes, you can also do that with the photosphere mode on your phone. Now, granted, I know not very many um, phone cameras can do the photosphere, but if you have a Google Pixel, it should be able to do that. And I believe some Samsung and Apple devices are also able to do that. So I would quickly stop sharing here to just demonstrate what that looks like on my phone. Let me share on my phone. Da, 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 da. Okay, I believe we can see my phone screen. And if I enter my camera now, and yeah, so pay more attention to the different modes that I'm going through. So this is the action plan. Like say if I was moving my camera fast and I immediately took a picture, because the camera is now, I'm now telling the camera to move faster. It's able to a degree, still take a picture. So this kind of mode, imagine if you were on a bike and you needed to quickly take, maybe you saw a very nice candid shot. Either you're in a bike or you're in a bus and you just needed to really capture something. Action mode is should be your go-to. Long exposure, there's something in photography that we call light painting. If you can just Google it, and we are going to demo it. It's one of the, like, cool experimental forms of photography that not very many people do, but like it can really, really, really elevate your game. Like my goal is at the end of this thing, like even after we learn editing and everything, people here are pros. So like if by the end of this, okay, let me not make any promises. I believe we all will be pros by the end of this. So portrait mode, maybe if I take, let me try and take a picture myself. Um, yeah, we can't really see the quality. This is downsampling it, so we can't really see the quality. Photo mode is the default. Okay, my phone calls night mode night sights. And if ever, like, you can see, it's just that the quality is a bit low. Like around here, you might be able to see noise and grain, like some low quality thing is going on. That is your camera sensor trying to increase the sensitivity. Ordinarily, this place will be black, but is bringing back all the light that you can try and get to help you. Because if you are in a night situation, it will, and I open it, you won't even see any of that low quality thing that was going on before, because of the image processing aspect of this phone. Then of course panorama, you can see it's telling me to move either left or right. Then photosphere, photosphere, if I should say maybe take the first picture, it will now start telling me to move up, to go up again, and move up again. And it automatically, so I don't want to go too in depth into it, but by the time you now preview the picture, you can move in 3D space. You can move in 3D space to look at what was above or what is below. But because I didn't take the full 360 picture, there's nothing on this other side and nothing on this other side. So, so, so yeah, it can be really exciting what can be done now on a camera phone. It's so awesome. So let me quickly stop share. Okay. And let's go back. Please, if you do have questions, send them in the chat box, send them in the chat. We can either tackle them here or in the WhatsApp group, and if your question is something that, who knows, your question might even be something that we are going to touch on further down the line. Okay, I would get to most of these questions at the end. So we will get to the questions at the end of the session around the Q&A point. So let me go back to sharing here. And, yeah. Okay. So now after hearing all these wonderful things, here's the second poll. What do we feel is the most important feature when choosing a smartphone? What do we think? So we would get your answers before the end of this session. Okay, so in the course of this our training, we are going to be learning two editing editing apps, not software apps. I said software by mistake because there's also a desktop version of Lightroom, which is why, okay, the first app is Lightroom. And one of the main reasons why we are choosing Lightroom is because it is one of the, I would say, the industry standard, global industry standard for picture editing. If you are able to, it's free at first, but like the more advanced features, you would need to pay a subscription for. Now, if this is something that you are going to have to pay for, you'll be wondering why are we even bothering teaching this? Well, one is, like I said, industry standard, meaning not just in Nigeria, all over the world. Like if you put on your, like say you're applying for the role of a content manager and you put under your skills that you can edit with Lightroom. Now, they would pay more attention to you than someone maybe who does not include that. Because, like I said, Lightroom is not used just in Nigeria, it's used everywhere. And it's recognized by photographers all over the world. And a good thing is that you can, if you subscribe to the paid version of this, you can take your settings from your phone to the desktop app to the tab to wherever it's because it's one account with all your settings saved and stored, and you can use it throughout. It's good for collaborating if you are working with international people, and it's relatively easy to use. So you can use it to punch up your images, like the picture that you saw at the beginning was you can use Lightroom to edit it and get your picture from point A to point B. If you are doing beauty photography, you can use this for retouching, like removing blemishes, like specific blemishes on people's faces. We're going to demo that aspect, but not in Lightroom. Now, and we will just do of course, basic editing and everything in Lightroom. We'll leave retouching for Snapseed. Now, okay, so the second app we'll be learning is called Snapseed. Snapseed. This is it. So Snapseed is completely free, and everything that you can do in Lightroom, you can do it in Snapseed. the major attraction to Lightroom, like I said, is that really it looks good on a CV. Yeah, it's professional. If you tell someone that you edit on Snaps, you edited a picture with Snapseed. In fact, the picture you edit in Snapseed, they will not know the Snapseed that you used or Lightroom. But like I said, knowing how to use Lightroom is is a good skill to have for our resumes, for our CVs, and for collaborating globally. Of course, Snapseed is also international, but like people may not see it as a professional app, but in like say mobile photography space, Snapseed is awesome. Like before I switched to a Pixel, all of my pictures I used to all of my mobile pictures I would edit in Snapseed to get them to that Pixel iPhone quality looking picture. So we're in as we cover editing, we're going to use these two apps so that you can pick and choose. And like I said, Lightroom, like say 90% of the capabilities of Lightroom are free. It's just the remaining 10%, like the spot healing, the AI related features. Those ones you would have to be on the paid version. And Snapseed doesn't have any AI features. So that's part of the reason why I say it's important to try and learn Lightroom. So, of course, like you said, no knowledge is a waste. And the apps really are very straightforward. Once you know, in fact, they may seem like they have so many different things that you can do in it that what am I going to do? It's so confusing. Once you know what you want to do, I know that it's this and this and this. In fact, in most of all these apps, it's just maybe 4 or 5 things that I tweak, and I leave all the other plenty settings for who it may concern. But we would, of course, go through everything so that you will focus on what will help you and really boost your photography. So yeah, in the course of these sessions, we would have, in fact, the sessions are split into three over the course of the 3 weeks. First 2 sessions will focus on shooting good pictures. Second two, editing. Last two, will be on optimizing your images for sharing, collaborating, uh, posting to social media and whatnot. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. So now this will be our first assignment, and really is I just want to this assignment is okay. Take what, in your opinion, is your best photograph. Don't we would paste a link where the pictures can be uploaded, or yeah, we'll send a link to the WhatsApp groups where the pictures can be uploaded and I can take a look. So yeah, just let's see where we all are at this point. So we would gauge by the end of by this is the beginning. We'll take what we feel are like our really good pictures of what we will be taking, like how we said in the first poll, take a picture of like the thing that concerns you the most. So let's see where everybody's skill set is, where we are, and even maybe how good our phone cameras currently are, so that by the time we learn editing and a lot more photography tips and tricks, things that will level up our game, at the end of all of the training, we would then take another picture, then we'll compare then and now where we are, so that even you can have physical proof of the, if will I say, effectiveness of this course. So that's the first assignment. And the second is simply to, prepare for our editing sessions by installing Lightroom Mobile and Snapseed. These two apps are available in the two different app stores. Nobody's using BlackBerry. Okay, I want to believe that we are mostly using Android and Apple devices. So these are available in our different app stores and are free to download. But like I said, for Lightroom, you might need to um, upgrade if you want all of the features to be unlocked. But I think for now, we really don't need to do that. The features that are locked in Lightroom, you can see some of them in Snapseed. It's just the AI functionalities that are not included in Snapseed. So I think with that, we have come to the end of today's session, keeping things brief, concise, and getting everyone ready for what is to come. So I will hand over back to our hosts. So yeah, thank you
Thank you
again.
so much. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Sonto, for this insightful session on mobile photography. I can see we already have a lot of questions in the, chat box. So maybe we might have to like take a few questions. Let me see what I can see here. There's quite a lot. Okay. Someone is asking how much or range of cost for the Lightroom app. Do you have an idea how much it might cost?
So it's in dollars. Adobe does a subscription-based model, so you don't pay. You unfortunately don't pay once. You have to be on a monthly subscription, which I don't think is a lot. But to me, it's really not that. I wouldn't pay for Lightroom. I wouldn't pay for Lightroom
Mm,
because I
okay.
feel like it's overpriced. But I'll circle back. Just give me like 1 minute and I'll give you the price.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much, Mr. Sonto. So someone, I think Ifoma asked, for someone who has a symmetrical face, how can they use their iPhones to solve that? I noticed that when I take picture, whether using the front or back camera, my face is not straight. LOL.
Well, I think, hmm, well, if you are okay, okay, if you do want to fix that, you can do that in editing, but most of the time that would only come up if you are taking like a precisely forward facing picture where you can mirror. So in edits, you can mirror one side of the face so that the picture ends up being symmetrical. Then anywhere that doesn't line up with the healing tool, you can just dab it, dab it, dab it, dab it, dab. Then they'll kind of like blur into each other. But like yes, it's in edits. There are some I think on Snapchat and maybe Instagram, there are filters where like it helps you, it will just mirror. It's like just is I think it's a symmetry filter. It will make it will take just one side of your face and put it on the other side, and you would have like that. They would join in the middle and look almost exactly symmetrical. You might have to like move a bit or adjust so that it lines up properly. So you
Okay,
can
thank you
either
so
use
much.
illustrators or in edit.
Awesome, awesome, Mr. Sonto. So I think we'll just take one more question. And I noticed that a lot of the participants are actually using iPhones. So there, someone asked, I think Tohib said, are these features the same? What I'm seeing here on my iPhone is lapse, slow-mo, photo, portrait, and panel.
So pan is similar to panorama. Like I said, they are like almost they just named them different. Pan is similar to panorama. Time lapse is similar to long exposure. Can you mention the modes again?
Okay, just a second. So, okay, yeah. So we have time lapse, we have slow-mo, we have photo, portrait, and panel.
Okay. So slow mo is video. So slow-mo is video. So you would have to also be sure that you are using the like because the cameras can do either photo or video. Slow-mo is mostly for video. Time
Videos.
lapse,
Okay.
time lapse is similar. Time lapse is also video though. Time lapse is also video, but before the next class in the WhatsApp on the WhatsApp group, I would put the modes side by side and map them. Then in future sessions, I'll make sure that as we are talking about what's on Android, we'll also talk about what you can do on your iPhone. I use a Google Pixel, so that's why I was demoing with this. But I would by the next class, I'll try and make sure that I have an iPhone here so that nobody is left out.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Sonto. I'm sure we've all gained valuable insights and tips to elevate our visual content and make a stronger impact
Oh,
both online and offline. Okay, go ahead.
then the price for Lightroom is $1.99 a month or 19 point so like $2 a month or $20 a month.
Okay,
Sorry,
$20
$20
a
a year,
month,
not a month.
a year. Okay,
two
that's
dollars
really
a
quite.
month, $20 a year. It's not too bad.
It's not so bad. It's about 3.5 a month, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Or almost 4,000. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Sonto. Like I said, that was a very insightful session on mobile photography. And to our participants, we want to say thank you for your engagement and thoughtful questions today. We hope you are as inspired as we are to put these skills, to work. I always implore people that when you learn a new skill like this, it's always important to keep practicing. You get better by practicing, practicing, practicing. So we're going to meet tomorrow, same time on the Zoom link, the same link that was shared to every one of us. Also, if you have questions, you can also engage in the WhatsApp community. And lest I forget, we're going to be giving data to, I think, 5 lucky attendees, people that came early and those who actually stayed to the end of the session. And also, please do follow us on our social media platforms. It's Adara Foundation across all social media platforms. I'm talking about LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter, which is now X. Thank you so much, and please continue practicing. We hope to see every one of you here tomorrow, same time. Thank you so much, and that'll be all from us. Have a good evening, everyone. Bye.